Hey, good afternoon, friends. Today, friends, is Wednesday, March the 18th, 2026, and the time now is 6:20 p.m. So, friends, I want to talk about Israel. I want to talk about Benjamin Netanyahu and the current situation in the Middle East. And I want to talk specifically about Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, or many are saying the former Prime Minister of Israel. And I want to talk specifically about a question that many are asking throughout the world and throughout the social media apparatus on every social media platform. And this pertaining to whether or not Benjamin Netanyahu is still alive. So the question here is, where is Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel? Is Benjamin Netanyahu alive? Is he dead? Is he still living? Is he hurt? And if he is hurt, how serious is the pain? How serious is the injury that he is suffering? In the week now, we've had news that came out that Benjamin Netanyahu had died. When the Israeli and the United States attacked Iran on the 28th of February this year, 2026, they struck a school building which led to the death, basically killing over 100 little children, girls. It is said that about 160 girls or so, or 140 something girls or so died, lost their life as a result of Israel's attack and the United States attack on Iran. They also assassinated the supreme leader of Iran, the Ayatollah Khamenei. In addition, several places in Iran were attacked. Now, friends, immediately after the attack on Iran, Iran retaliated and continued to retaliate. The last time I checked, Iran had launched its 33rd missile barrage on Israel, and Israel is being destroyed significantly. In terms of Iran, we are seeing lots of the destruction in Iran. And one serious and recent destruction that happened was an oil facility which the Israeli bombed, which led to dark substance falling on Tehran, the capital city of Iran, which is said to have over 10 million people. So the attack on this oil facility is leading to chemical and oil particles falling on the ground. The sewage was on fire and so on. That was much recently, but in terms of the earlier stage of this war, around the 4th of March, it is said that the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, fell under an attack, launched by Iran. Now, during the early stages of the war, as many were sharing ideas and information on social media, many were talking about a certain plane, which as of now had been declared to be the official plane, the Prime Minister's plane of Israel, which the name or the title of the plane is the Wings of Zion. This plane basically didn't go anywhere. It basically circulated the region over Israel and the Mediterranean. So it basically just made turns. It flew in circles, and people were trying to conclude what is this plane, because they were looking at the flight catalog or the flight data in the region. Every other plane was coming and going to a specific destination, but this one plane kept circling, or moving in circle or flying in circle. As of now, it has been concluded by many that that particular plane, which was flying in circle was the wings of Zion, the prime minister's plane. Now, what is being said is what the plane was doing is the plane was circulating in the sky because the Israeli government was making a call to European countries. And friends, the reason for this, according to the news out there, as it's being spread on social media, is that the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, had fallen under attack by Iran. And the government of Israel had been making a call, a stress call to European countries to fly him into the various European countries so that he could seek medical attention. It is said that all of the countries in Europe declined the request for Netanyahu to be flown in their countries to seek medical attention. It is said that only Germany accepted the request that Netanyahu be flown into Germany for medical attention. Now, in Germany, there is one particular hospital, which I do not remember the name. During the early times of the war, news came out that lots of bodies were being flown into that facility. And as a result, some services were paused or stopped completely. Perhaps it could be where Netanyahu was taken. I don't know. What is being stressed is that during the early times of the war, when Iran struck Netanyahu's house or a specific facility where Benjamin Netanyahu and his brother and other officials were, multiple people died. However, Netanyahu is said that he got hurt so bad that he fell under a medical induced coma. And this is why he was being taken to Europe for medical attention. And that was around the 4th of March. However, many had stressed that by the 9th of March, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, died of his injury. I don't know. However, the question that many have been asking is, where is Benjamin Netanyahu? Is he dead? Is he alive? And so on. There are those who had celebrated the supposed death of Netanyahu. Many had said that he died, but they are basically taking back their statement. In response, the government of Israel, the Prime Minister office, had released several videos of Netanyahu basically to prove that he is alive. And all of these videos are turning out to be AI generated videos. One such video shows that Netanyahu had 6 fingers. Another video shows that his ring disappeared. He released a video of him being in a coffee shop, sipping coffee, which the cup was basically filled to capacity. And even with all of his movement, the coffee did not spill. And many are calling it out. Recently, about yesterday, another video came out of Benjamin Netanyahu, who previously had missed about 2 or so official meetings, which he often chaired. Benjamin Netanyahu is now, in the video that I saw yesterday, he was in a meeting which he was chairing. However, the setup looked very much odd, and many had concluded that the video is an AI generated video. Another video was released of him talking to the United States ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. In the video, one person had pointed how Mike Huckabee's face changed. His nose got bigger. Basically, his face got distorted. And the Prime Minister of Israel basically looked awkward. All of these videos basically are proven to be AI generated videos, which in itself is proving that Benjamin Netanyahu is either dead or that he is very ill or sick. Now, I'm not going to conclude that Benjamin Netanyahu is dead. However, one thing I can say or stress is that these videos, as I've said earlier and many times now, do not prove that Benjamin Netanyahu is alive. However, if he is alive, one thing that I will say is that the possibility Benjamin Netanyahu possibly during the attack was hurt so bad, the injury was so bad that he is still under a medical or medically induced coma. Perhaps he is recovering, or perhaps he is still in serious condition. However, in order to maintain morale, the Prime Minister office and the government of Israel continue to release these AI generated videos as a means to maintain morale and also to buy time. Perhaps they might be able to make him to recover, and once he fully recovers, he can come out and basically talk nonsense and basically condemn everyone who had been celebrating his death and saying that he is strong, he is alive, and so on. It is very interesting. One of the video that was released after many had called out the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu in the first video had 6 fingers, is Netanyahu stating that he is still alive and that he has 5 fingers, which is very much obvious. It is obvious. But all the research that I've done so far, I am seeing that none of the American or Western news agencies or station had concluded or posted that Netanyahu has died. In fact, not only that they have kept away from that for like a week now, but now they are creating or posting articles that are saying something such as there are allegations, okay, that Netanyahu is dead, but it is not proven. Now, friends, since this war started, Israel has done a very much tremendous job, a good job in terms of keeping from the rest of the world the seriousness of the damages that Iran had caused in Israel. In fact, it is said that many of the videos that are coming out of Israel's destruction by Iran are videos that are being made by Israeli citizens who are basically posting these videos to the rest of the world to show the destruction that Iran is making. And even though they are doing that, they are risking their lives, because it is said that as of the situation in Israel, the rule is the minimum sentence is 5 years in prison. For anyone who release videos of the destruction that Iran is causing in Israel. Now, in terms of the situation with Netanyahu, let's assume that Netanyahu is dead. I will say that it doesn't necessarily mean that the situation will end. There are many who are saying that Zionism is going to die as a result of the death or so of Netanyahu. I think it has just started. This is just the beginning of the destruction that we will experience as a global community. Netanyahu is or was, if he is dead or alive, he is just one asset of a global system. Netanyahu is not the funder. He is not funding Israel's campaign in the Middle East or against the Arab world. Others are funding Israel's campaign. Netanyahu is only the head administrator of this system in Israel, in the Middle East. Look, the United States gave Israel money and bombs, munition every time Israel requested. Israel gets destroyed, the United States pitching. So Netanyahu is just an asset. He is not the sole decision maker. He is just, or was just, one of the most charismatic elements of Zionist movement or of the Israeli government, who basically project and propagate Israel in a very positive light to the United States and to the rest of the world. And also who is brave enough to set a policy and go about implementing that policy. Whether we are talking about the genocide in Gaza and so on. Now, the videos that had been released of Netanyahu, let's assume these videos are good and correct videos, they actually show that Netanyahu is alive because the rest of us are stupid. One thing that I would say, if these videos are the true version of Netanyahu that he is still alive, then one thing I can conclude that he is very much hurt. He is seriously in pain. He had been damaged. Because if you look at videos of Netanyahu over the years and decades, he is very much charismatic. He is brutal. He brags. He insults his enemies. There's some aura, some kind of aura about him. He is very much arrogant. These videos do not show an arrogant Netanyahu. They show someone who is very much slow, someone who looked worried, someone who looked defeated, and someone who is in trouble. Whether we are talking about internal trouble, there is something wrong with him internally. He is seriously hurt. He had not recovered from his injury, whatever the injuries may be. And this, my friend, I am talking if these videos are not AI generated, they are the true version of Netanyahu and that he is still alive. And I would say if that's the case, Netanyahu is seriously injured. He is hurt. However, friends, if you take away all of the elements that people are pointing to as a means to show that Netanyahu may be dead and that the videos are AI, whether we are talking about the 6 fingers, the ring disappearing, him sipping coffee, and the coffee, even though the cup is completely full, nothing spilled. Whether we are talking about the video with him and Mike Huckabee, and Mike Huckabee's face basically distorted, and the recent video that came out of Netanyahu leading an event, okay, a meeting. If you take all of these elements away, one way that I think these videos are not natural videos of a Netanyahu being alive, but an AI generated video is that the videos are very much yellow. The quality is yellow. The videos are blurry. They are blurry. They look dark. And Netanyahu's features do not look natural. Yes, you can see the resemblance that, yes, that is Netanyahu. But I think these videos are much more of a representation of a Netanyahu, a person who once lived, than it is, or than they are the actual true Netanyahu who is still alive. These videos' quality, and Netanyahu is the prime minister of one of the most dominant countries in the world. If you look at past videos of Benjamin Netanyahu over the years and decades, the quality or qualities of these videos compared to the quality or qualities of the videos that are being released by the government or the prime minister's office of Israel, the qualities are very bad. They seem as if there had been detachment or disconnect. So where are the disconnects? What are the disconnects and why? These are questions that I want to pose. However, I think the quality or qualities of these videos alone, if we take away all of the elements that people are pointing to as a means that to explain that these videos are AI generated, just the quality, the tone of the video, the color scheme of the videos alone seems to be AI generated. And I'm saying this, friends, go ahead and look at past videos of Benjamin Netanyahu and Israeli officials versus now. The videos that are being released are not clear and they look bad. In fact, the other videos of Benjamin Netanyahu talking to people, one thing that I find to be very interesting is that the people that he is supposed to be interacting with, they look very much clear in the videos. The quality of these people's body language and their body image and textures and features look clear compared to Netanyahu. Therefore, my conclusion is these people are in our world and Netanyahu is in another world. In this case, perhaps we can say Netanyahu in these videos is in an AI-generated alternative world, in an alternative universe. In this case, it made sense to conclude the notion that Benjamin Netanyahu could be dead, that he may have died a long time ago, and that the Israeli government and the office of the Prime Minister of Israel had been releasing these new videos as a means to cover up the notion that Benjamin Netanyahu had died, in order to maintain the charisma and to maintain the morale of Israel during a wartime. Now, friends, please tell me what you think, and I really want to know what you think. However, friends, I'm going to end here. I want to thank you for being a member of the Echoing Voice community, my friends, but most especially and most importantly, or most important, my friends, I want to thank you a lot for watching the Echoing Voice. Peace, my friends. Peace.